What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here from Nerd Takes, and today I wanted to give you my take on the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. So, Marvel has released the first trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie, and it gave us our first real look at what they're going for with this new take on Marvel's first family, which, of course, gave me the chance to take a look at it and share some of my first impressions on it. My initial thought on the trailer was that it's solid and I liked it. I didn't think it was an amazing trailer or anything, but I also didn't think it was a bad trailer either. It may not have gotten me super excited for the movie, but it didn't disappoint me either, which honestly, at this point, I'll take that. There were some things that I actually really liked about it, and a few things that gave me some concerns, but nothing that really stood out to me as bad. It's not a very long trailer, so we don't really see much of what the story might be, and I don't want to get too much into a breakdown of every detail of it. So instead, I'll just talk a little bit about some of the things that I liked and the few things that gave me some concerns. And with that said, I'll start with the things that I liked, and the very first thing that stood out to me was the look of the world. I loved the 60s look that they're going for with this one. I think they did a great job at replicating that era of design in terms of the buildings, clothing, interior design, vehicles, and all that kind of stuff. But mixing it with the idea of futuristic technology, I think gives the world of this movie a very different style from the rest of what we've seen in the MCU. I also thought that the suits of the Fantastic Four looked good. I got a vintage kind of vibe from them, which I feel like fits this world that they're going for well. And I like that they looked practical and not overdone with CGI. We don't get a lot of dialogue in this, which is totally fine as it's just a first trailer. But the dialogue that we do get, I liked. It gives us an idea of what the heart of the movie will be, which seems to be family. And I think that's a great way to handle a movie that's based on the Fantastic Four. Now, moving on to the few things that gave me some concern, and in fairness, it really was just a couple things. But one of them was that I thought the CGI on Ben Grimm as the Thing looked just a little bit off in a couple of scenes. I do like the design of him, I think that looks good. It's just some of his movements and some of the scenes looked a little bit awkward. It's not a huge deal because in some other scenes I thought he looked fine, and maybe it's something that they can just touch up a little bit before the film's release, but it did stand out to me while watching, so I had to mention it. And the other concern that I had was it looks like they're going with Galactus as the villain for this one, and I worry that using Galactus in the very first movie may be too soon. Now, in fairness to this movie, this is actually an issue I have with the MCU overall lately, where it feels like a lot of the stories that they're telling are about a threat to the universe or the multiverse. And after so many in a row, it just feels like the stakes aren't all that high anymore. So it's not just a concern that I have for this movie as much as it's an overall storytelling concern that I have for the MCU. But by the looks of the trailer, it does seem like this movie could have that same issue. I think the MCU could benefit from lowering the threat level in some movies to be able to build up to a larger threat in later movies in order to reestablish that feeling of a high stakes story. But maybe it works out and they're able to tell a good story and find a way to make the stakes feel high in this one. We'll just have to see it to find out. Outside of those few things, I liked the trailer and I thought it was solid. I'm definitely more interested in this movie now than I was prior to watching the trailer, so that's a good start. And I'm cautiously optimistic to see what the final product actually is when it's in theaters. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again soon.